Prime Minister as the state officers who should take the oath or make a solemn affirmation as prescribed in the schedule. The amendment also seeks to include the Deputy Chief Justice wherever there appears. Oaths for the Chief Justice, consequential legislation. Provides that Parliament shall enact any legislation required by this Act to be enacted to govern a particular matter within the period specified in the first schedule. It provides that the Kenya Law Reform Commission and the Attorney General shall prepare the relevant bills for tabling before Parliament as soon as is reasonably practicable to enable Parliament to enact the legislation within the specified period in the first schedule, commencing on the date this Act comes into force. BBI's transition and consequential provisions provides for the transitional and consequential provision set out in the second schedule to ensure the seamless implementation of the provisions of this Act, especially in view of some constitutional commissions and state offices that have been reconstituted. The first schedule. This lists the legislation proposed for Parliament to enact and recommend time specifications in order to ensure the full implementation of the proposed amendments to the Constitution. There is a table here about the legislation to be enacted by Parliament. So the first column is the article. The second column stipulates the recommended specification time. So, legislation on economy and shared prosperity, Article 11A, 1 year. Legislation on elections, Article 82, 87, 88, 90, and 97, 6 months. Office of the Judiciary, 1 year. Ombudsman, the new article, Article 172A, that one has been left out. Constituency Development Fund, Article 206A, 1 year. Ward Development Fund, Article 207A, 1 year. The Youth Commission, Article 237A, 1 year. Any other legislation necessary to give effect to the provision of this Act, 2 years. That is the first schedule. The second schedule, BBI proposes, the schedule further guides on the manner of delimitation in respect of additional 70 constituencies. You remember we said earlier that BBI will increase the constituencies to 360. So in this second schedule, BBI proposes an extra 70 constituencies will be distributed across counties as follows. Mombasa, 3 more constituencies. Kwale, 3. Kilifi, 4. Mandera, 1. Meru, 2. Embu, 1. Machakos, 3. Makueni, 1. Kirinyaga, 1. Murang'a, 1. Kiambu, 6. Turkana, 1. West Pokot, 1. Trans Nzoia, 2. Uasin Gishu, 3. Nandi, 1. Laikipia, 1. Nakuru, 5. Narok, 3. Kajiado, 3. Kericho, 1. Bomet, 2. Kakamega, 2. Bungoma, 3. Siaya, 1. Kisumu, 2. Nyamira, 1. Nairobi City, 12. Okay? That is the second schedule. Now, I'm looking at the BBI's new county revenue allocation. I need you to understand this very well. because there are 47 counties. If you get to see the document, there are currently 47 counties. And I will give a quick analysis of what is in front of me. The 47 counties, there is what is called their current allocation, what it is that they are receiving now in the 2010 Constitution. For example, Meru is receiving 8 billion. Let me put it in summary. 8 billion and some few figures there. Tharaka Nithi 3.9 billion. Embu 4.3 billion. That is the current allocation. Kitui 8.8 billion. Machakos 7.7 billion. Makueni 7.4 billion. Nyandarua 4.8 billion. Nyeri 5.4 billion. Kirinyaga 4.2 billion. Muranga 6.2 billion. Kiambu 9.4 billion. Nakuru, I'm just giving a summary because there are 47 of them. Nakuru 10.4 billion. And Nairobi City 15.9 billion. That is the current allocation under the current constitution. BBI proposes to increase the allocation to 35%, meaning if we are to look at what I've just read to you, for example, Meru, the allocation will increase by 14.8 billion. Tharaka Nithi will increase by 6 billion, or rather, will increase to 6 billion. Meaning, let me start again. Meru, the BBI proposed increment will be 14.8 billion, meaning the margin of increase is 6.7 billion. Okay? Tharaka Nithi will increase to 6 billion. The margin of increase is 2.1 billion. Embu, on the other hand, will increase to 8 billion. The margin of increase is 3.7 billion extra resources into the counties. Kitui, I said the proposed BBI will be 16 billion. The margin of increase is 7.3 billion. Machakos, 14 billion. The margin of increase is 6.5 billion. Makueni, 11 billion. The margin of increase is 4.5 billion. Nyandarua, 8.7 billion. The margin of increase is 3.8 billion. Nyeri, 9.5 billion. The margin of increase is 4.1 billion. Kirinyaga, 8.3 billion. The margin of increase is 4 billion. Muranga, 10.8 billion. The margin of increase is 4.5 billion. Kiambu, 18.9 billion. The margin of increase is 9 billion. I am jumping this because I will give you time to go to our YouTube so that you can have an analysis of all this. So I'll just use the counties that I will say. I just randomly selected them. So like Nakuru, the proposed BBI allocation is 21 billion. The margin of increase is 10 billion. Finally, the last example is Nairobi City, our city. The BBI proposed increase is 30.5 billion. The margin of increase for Nairobi City is 14.6 billion. Total expenditure to the counties is 316. The current allocation is 316 billion 500 million, if I'm right with those figures. The proposed BBI allocation is 562 billion 450 million, meaning in totality, all the counties in Kenya, in the territory called Kenya, will have an increase of 245 billion 950 million. I want now to give you a summary of the legislative bills. This is the final session of this presentation. What you decide after this presentation will be up to you. I will reserve my comment for now, but I will kindly recommend you to think very well about this presentation. Summary of the legislative bills. The Public Law Amendment Bill 2020. This bill, or rather BBI, seeks to make amendments to various finance-related laws, such as A, the Public Finance Management Act 2012. The bill seeks to amend the Act to provide for offenses relating to the handling of public monies by the public officer or accounting officers and liability arising out of loss of public money. This is new in Kenya. Part B, the Public Procurement Asset Disposal Act 2015. The bill seeks to amend the Act to compel accounting officers to ensure that procurement of goods and services is done transparently and with strict adherence to the approved procurement plans. Procurement will only happen if money is available for payment of the goods and services. C, the Public Audit Act 2015. This bill will amend Public Audit Act 2015 to empower the Office of the Auditor General to recruit its own staff. Wonderful. D, the Controller of Budget Act 2016. The BBI bill, seeks to amend the Act to require the Controller of Budget to carry out due diligence on all ongoing projects, to ascertain whether money previously approved for the projects has been utilized prudently before authorizing release of more funds for the project. Wonderful. E, the Higher, and listen to me now, the Higher Education Loans Board Act 1995. I'm smiling here. The bill will amend the Act to give loanees a grace period of 4 years from the date of completion of their studies before they can commence repayment of the loans advanced to them. The proposed amendment further exempts the County Wards Development Fund Bill 2020. The proposed BBI bill provides a legal framework for the operationalization of the Ward Development Fund intended to be introduced through an amendment of the Constitution. 3. The Prompt Payment Bill 2020. The BBI proposed bill provides a legal framework for the prompt payment, and listen to me here into brackets, within 30 days of invoices of goods and services procured by public entities. Wonderful. So there are no delays in payments of. Wonderful. Number 4, Election Laws Amendment Bill 2020. The bill will amend various election-related laws to deliver an electoral system that is transparent, accountable, and democratic, and promotes the will of the people. It seeks to amend the following statutes. 1. Election Act 2011. 2. Political Parties Act 2011. 3. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission 2011. 4. Election Campaign Financing Act 2013. And 5. Election Offences Act 2016. Number 5 of the summary, the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Amendment Bill 2020. The bill seeks to amend Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act and touches on matters such as enhanced penalty for economic crimes and corruption offenses. Procedure for hearing and sentencing an economic crime and corruption matters. And an offense for concealment of corruption. Meaning, it will be an offense to conceal a corrupt act. This is wonderful. It provides for the duty to report any knowledge or suspicion of acts of corruption or economic crimes. In other words, it will be a crime to harbor a criminal. Good. Number 6, the Ethics and Integrity Law Amendment Bill 2020. This bill proposes amendments to the following statutes relating to ethics and integrity. Number 1, or Part A, Leadership and Integrity Act. The bill seeks to amend the Act to provide a detailed framework for dealing with public and personal wealth, as well as making financial declarations by state officers, and prohibit state officers and public officers themselves or through proxies from engaging in business with a public entity or engaging in public collection of funds. Wonderful. 2, Public Officers Ethics Act. The bill proposes to amend the Act to bar public officers from participating in public collections. It also streamlines the filing of wealth declaration by public officers. KEMSA comes to mind, but anyway. 7, the contribution to Charity Bill 2020. The bill seeks to repeal the Public Collections Act, Chapter 106, to provide a modern framework for regulating public collections or harambes. It will also provide a clear demarcation between public collection for charitable purposes and for private benefits. 8, the Micro and Small Enterprise Amendment Bill 2020. The bill seeks to amend the Micro and Small Enterprises Act 2012 to give youth-owned businesses incubation centers across the country to provide business advisory services, which includes access to capital and government contracts. Further, the authority will register and clarify enterprises owned by young people, women, and people with disabilities. Excellent. 9, the Devolution Law Amendment Bill 2020. This bill seeks to amend the County Government Acts 2012 and the Intergovernmental Relations Act 2012 to align various provisions of the Act with multiple court decisions on matters relating to devolution and to incorporate lessons learned in the implementation of the Acts. Further, the BBI bill amends the County Government Act to include a provision requiring county governors to designate to their deputy governors county executive committee portfolios. 10, the Public Participation Bill 2020. The bill's objective is to provide an effective public participation framework, both at the national and county government levels. 11, the Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Bill 2020. The bill proposes to establish the National Planning Council, which shall be responsible for coordinating the preparation, implementation, and review of national development policies. 12, the Persons with Disabilities Act number 14 of 2003. The Persons with Disabilities Act number 14 of 2003 was enacted as per the recommendations of a task force appointed by the Office of the Attorney General. Since enactment in 2003, a number of amendments have been made to the Act and some 32 additional proposed amendments put forward. to reflect the right declared under Article 54 of the Constitution, but not enacted. Among the key proposed amendments which have been subjected to public participation is the Persons with Disability Amendment Bill 2019, Kenya Gazette, Supplement number 5, Senate Bill number 1, Senate Bills number 1. Senate Bills 2019, 6th of February 2019. On the 14th August 2018, the Cabinet passed Resolution number 3, approving a Cabinet paper on the Persons with Disabilities Bill 2018. The BBI Steering Committee recommends that the said bill be tabled in Parliament for debate and enactment without further delay. Number 13, the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill 2020. The Statute Law, that is the Miscellaneous Amendment Bill 2020, contains minor amendments relating to the following statutes. A. Interpretation and General Provisions Act Cap 2. The bill seeks to amend the Interpretation and General Provisions Act Cap 2 to harmonize the definition of cabinet minister with the proposed constitution amendment, among others. B. Judicial Service Act. The bill proposes to amend the Judicial Service Act 2011 to harmonize it with the proposed amendments of the Constitution to create the office of the Secretary of the Commissions. C. National Intelligence Service Act. The bill seeks to amend the National Intelligence Service Act 2012 to expand the definition of the word vetable position to ensure the service vets all applicants to public offices. D. Mutual Legal Assistance Act. The bill proposes to amend Section 2 of the Mutual Legal Assistance Act 2011 to harmonize the list of mainstream competent authorities with the provisions of Section 7(2) of the Act. E. This BBI. Commission on Administrative Justice. The bill seeks to amend the Commission on Administrative Justice to provide that after concluding an investigation or an inquiry and found a public officer guilty or gross violation of the Constitution or the law, the Commission, Office of the Ombudsman, that is in brackets, should be able to recommend that such an officer is unfit to hold office. Those are the recommendations in the BBI. Precious fellow countrymen and women, I have done what I could do best. My responsibility was to make sure that this information reaches you. The responsibility of choosing whether to accept this document or not is entirely on you. I will reserve my opinion for now, but I wish you the best in your decision. If you want to know more about what I've just read and the other documents, the PDF of this version, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You'll get the explanation and a quick summary of the BBI report. I wish you the best and God bless you.